Hi friends, it's Taylor. I'm here to do a yin practice with you today. And this practice will be for my friends that have props at home. So I've got 2 blocks, 2 blankets, and 1 bolster. If you don't have a bolster at home, you can use pillows, just make sure they're nice and squishy. If you don't have blocks, you can use books or anything that's really sturdy to stack. And hopefully you have some blankets, but if not, you can use towels. So let's get started. So we will be doing a little bit of attention, a little bit of everywhere in our bodies. But first, I like to start the practice with a little bit of grounding. So find a cozy seat for you. This is a cozy seat for me. This is how I sit normally, but it might not be for you. So if you need to extend your legs out, or if you need to bend your knees, or if you need to sit upon a blanket or a pillow or a bolster, do so. So I'll give you just another moment to get cozy. And once you've found your cozy seat, feel your hips root down. Feel your spine lengthen up from your pelvis. Stack your throat over your hips. And if it's comfortable to do so, close your eyes. Relax your jaw. Soften your face. And let your body and your mind settle into this moment. Take a moment to scan your body. Notice any sensations, any spaces of tension, and anything else that draws your attention. Know that we're not judging anything that we find. We're just looking for awareness to best serve your body today. Notice the quality of your breath. Could you take your breath a little deeper? Feel your belly move with your breath. Feel your lungs and ribs expand across your chest and back every inhale. And feel them soften in every exhale. Notice where your mind is. If it begins to wander, don't get frustrated. Just come back to this space, back to your body, and back to your breath. If you'd like to set an intention for the practice, now's a good time to do so. My intention for this practice will be to breathe. So regardless of if my mind wanders or if I'm finding a pose challenging, all that matters is that I'm breathing deep and intentionally. And once you've captured your intention for the practice, with your next deep exhale, send it out onto your mat. And then take one more deep breath for yourself. And then softly open your eyes. So, for those of you that are new to Yin, Yin is all about getting into your joints, your ligaments, and your connective tissue. So, we use stillness and props to find spaces where we can effectively get into those spaces. It's also a nice meditative practice if you can allow yourself to settle in and let everything else wait until you're done. So I encourage you to find that stillness. If you have to wiggle and move in the poses, try to minimize that, but ultimately if you have to move, do so. There should not be pain at any moment. There may be some discomfort that you can sit with, but never pain. So if there's pain, back out, reassemble, readjust, and then go back in. So our first position will be getting into our hips with a little bit of butterfly. So you'll bring the soles of your feet together. And then I recommend using your blankets and rolling them up. 1 blanket per knee. And tucking them under your knees for a little bit of support. And if your knees go up in your ears, you can always use more than 1 blanket per knee. Just make sure that you're feeling supported so that your muscles can relax and you can really get into the yin tissues of the body. So now my legs are supported. I'm going to grab my blocks. This is my own personal way of finding support. You're more than welcome to find your support in whatever way works for you. So I'll show you 2 different options, and then you can choose what suits you best. So my personal favorite way is to grab my blocks, and remember your blocks have 3 different heights, so find the height that works for you. And then I place my bolster on top so that I can hang out. You can also, if that is pretty deep, take 1 block, tallest height, maybe even take 1 underneath it to lift it up a little higher. Place 1 end of your bolster or pillow at your feet and the other on the blocks so that you can rest supported. So like I said, I'm gonna go to my favorite way just because we're gonna be here for a while. So build up your support and settle in. Now it's important to remember to breathe in these positions. Try to breathe into the spaces where you're feeling discomfort. Imagine that your breath can help soften those spaces. And I'll give you moments of quiet just because when I'm teaching a yin practice, I like to be more meditative. So dive into your breath. I'll let you know when we come out. Notice where your mind is. Come back to your breath. If your body's inviting you a little deeper, now's a good time to go there, or you can stay right where you are. So I'm going to take myself just 1 level lower. And we'll take 3 cleansing breaths to close out this pose. And slowly, gently rise. Move your support. and find a little bit of movement. And your movement can be whatever suits your body best. There's no right or wrong way to move. It's just listening to your body. And when you've accomplished what your body needs, we'll move into our next pose. So we'll move into dragonfly, which is essentially the same setup, but our legs are gonna go out wide. If you know your hamstrings are particularly tense, you can take a blanket under each of your knees. It's always better to start out over supported than under supported. So I'm gonna start out with my knees supported. And again, you can take whichever formation of support with your blocks and your bolster that you like. Like I said before, this is my favorite, so you'll see me do this a few times. So get settled, find the space that works well for you, relax your feet, and melt forward. Notice any spaces that need a little extra love, and try to breathe into those spaces. Notice where your mind is. Come back to your breath. If your body's inviting you a little deeper, now's a good time to go there. Otherwise, stay right where you are. So I will take myself deeper by removing my blankets from under my knees. And we'll take our 3 cleansing breaths here. And softly, gently rise. Move your support. And again, find your movement. So you may find that a little windshield wiper action feels good for your body. And from here, we'll go into swan. So the good news is I have a few different variations that might suit your body best. So we'll start off with the right leg parallel to the top edge of your mat. and your left leg off to the side. Now, if this is a good stretch for you, you are more than welcome to stay put. My favorite way to support here is similar to the way I support in all the other positions. I like to take my blocks a little bit wide, give my bolster some support, but I have space between to rest my hands and my face. So I'm gonna turn sideways just so you can see the progression of the pose. So you can start off in this zigzag formation, and you are more than welcome to stay here the whole time. But if you notice that you have a little bit more space, you can progressively walk your left leg back until you're in a full swan. And if there's a lot of space between your hips and the floor, I recommend tucking a blanket or two under your pelvis for a little bit of support. And if it's straight across under your pelvis, it'll be a little bit more supportive than just tucking a blanket off to the side. And then find your space and settle in. If you start to feel a tingling sensation in your right leg, or if it starts to fall asleep, do come out of the pose. And just notice where you're holding tension, maybe in your jaw, or your fingertips, or your toes. See if you can allow yourself to soften. Keep track of your breath. It's in poses like this where we tend to hold on to our breath. Be mindful. Try to breathe with intention. And if your body is inviting you a little deeper, now is a good time to go there. Otherwise, stay right where you are. And we'll take our 3 cleansing breaths here. Then softly rise. You can tuck your left toes and send yourself back to a down dog. I personally like to take more of a hip circle motion. Just find whatever movement suits you best. Good. And now we'll take the other side. So your left leg parallel to the top edge of your mat, right leg off to the side. And you can stay in that formation. You do not have to go any further. This time I'll show you the progression. So you'll start. Remember, folding over your left shin, not over your knee. This time. Folding over your knee is not bad. It's just not where we're going today. And you can choose to keep your right leg by your side or As you find space, you can progressively send it back. And find a space for you to settle in. And we'll relax. You may find a little bit more space to go a little further. And if your body's inviting you a little deeper, now's a good time to go there. Otherwise, stay right where you are. And we'll take our 3 cleansing breaths. After your 3rd breath, softly, gently rise. Again, you can tuck your toes and send yourself back to a down dog. I like to make my hips circles, so just do what suits you best. And from here, we'll move into a sphinx. So for the sphinx, I like to use a block between my forearms. You'll come down to your belly. Your shoulders can be over your elbows, fingertips straight out from your elbows. Let me scoot forward a little. Make sure that your elbows are at least under your shoulders. If they go a little bit forward of your shoulders, that's okay too. Then relax all the muscles below your belly button. So release your glutes, your thighs, your toes. You can adjust them if needed, just to make sure that you're nice and cozy. And you can choose to stay in this upright position, or if you'd like, you can let your head rest on your block. As you find space, you can always lower down to the lower height, but don't force yourself there. Allow yourself to melt there. If your forearms start to feel a little sassy, you can always turn your hands into more of a fist shape but without clenching. So just rotating your hands so that your thumbs are up. And then settle in. Feel your belly press into the floor every inhale, and feel it soften back every exhale. If at any moment your arms get tired, you can always take your arms a little bit further forward, maybe fully extended, and rest your forehead down. Or, to make it a little bit more intense, keep your shoulders directly over your elbows. If your body's inviting you a little deeper, now's a good time to go there. Otherwise, stay right where you are. And we'll take our 3 cleansing breaths here. After your 3rd breath, lift your head, move your block, bring your elbows to either side of your mat, one hand on top of the other, and rest your forehead down for just a moment. And you can stay here for another moment or find your movement. And then when you've accomplished what your body needs, our next position will be a child's pose. Now I'm going to give you a few different options. So listen before you pick officially. So your first option is just a traditional child's pose, but I do recommend taking your knees a little wider just so you have space to breathe. I have a bit of abundance going on, so I need the wide space to breathe. If you feel a little crunching sensation in your hips when you take your knees wide, you're more than welcome to bring your knees together. So option one is just a regular child's pose. Option two, if you want to dig a little deeper into your shoulders, is to take blocks under your hands and rest. If you do choose the block option, just make sure that your elbows are not touching the floor. Option three, if you're feeling a little sensitive in your knees, you can take your bolster under your belly, under your chest, between your knees for a little bit of support. And if your feet are starting to feel a little sensitive, maybe this is a pretty deep stretch for your ankles, you can take one of your rolled up blankets and tuck it between you and the floor. So just giving yourself a little bit more space. So you've got lots of options to choose from. I'm going to choose the one with the shoulders. So find your space and settle in. Here you can feel your belly press against your thighs, your ribs, your lungs press against your thighs as you breathe in, and feel them soften back as you breathe out. Feel really rooted into your mat. Notice where you may be holding tension and allow yourself to soften. If your body is inviting you a little deeper, and whatever deeper is for you, now is a good time to go there. And we'll take our 3 cleansing breaths. After your 3rd breath, gently lift yourself up and find whatever movement your body needs. And sometimes your movement is just turning into a pancake, sometimes it is rolling around on the floor, which is what my body likes to do pretty regularly. And once you've found and accomplished all the things that your body needs, we'll move into our next position, which is a supported bridge. It's one of my favorites. So you can use your blocks or your bolster. I'll show you both, and you can choose for yourself. So option 1 is your blocks. You can do 1 or 2. I like to use 2 just because it's a wider base. You can do lowest or medium height. So what you'll do is lay down, bend your knees, lift your hips, and tuck your blocks underneath the juicy part of your booty. So not super high on your back. That's not going to be nice and cozy. And you'll put it a little lower than you normally would, or more than you normally would think to place it. Because when you extend your legs down, it'll be a lot more supported. So this is option 1. Option 2 is essentially the same thing, just with a bolster. So you'll lift your hips and tuck a bolster underneath the juicy part of your booty. Extend your legs down and reach your arms overhead. And breathe. Now if this feels like a lot of pressure for your back, you are more than welcome to keep your feet planted. But I'm going to extend mine out. And we'll just breathe here. Feel your belly rise and fall with your breath. Your breath is how you stimulate awareness of the present moment. So stay with it. We'll take our 3 cleansing breaths here. And softly bend your knees, gently lift your hips, move your support, and find whatever movement your body needs. From here, we'll be taking a twist. So bring your arms out shoulder height, palms facing up. Bend your knees towards your chest and take your knees over to your right elbow. Now, if there is space between your knees, rather than squeezing them together, you can always take your blankets that you have rolled up or even a pillow and and tuck it between your knees so you're not squeezing so hard. If there's space between your knee and the floor, make sure that you can relax, but give yourself some support if needed. And the higher up you point your knee, the easier it will be for your body to hold the twist. And breathe here. Notice where your mind is. Come back to your breath. See if you can allow your body to soften just 2% more. And we'll take our 3 cleansing breaths here. After your 3rd breath, bring your knees back to center. You can rock side to side or find whatever other movement that your body needs. And when you've accomplished what your body needs, we'll take the other side. So bring your arms out to a T, bend your knees towards your chest, and take them up and over to your left elbow. If they don't quite make it to your elbow, that's okay. And just find your space and soften in. See if you can allow your body to soften just 2% more. Let's take our 3 cleansing breaths here. After your 3rd breath, come back to center. Find whatever movement your body needs. And then we'll meet up in a seat. So for our last position, we'll take a supported fish. And I'm going to show you it with the bolster. So you'll take the short end of your bolster right behind your tailbone. Make sure it's physically touching you so it'll support your low back. If you want to take a butterfly shape with your legs, you're more than welcome to. What you'll do for that is just roll up your blankets and place them under your knees. Like so. Or you can have your legs extended out. I'm going to take a butterfly position just because it feels nice today. So make sure you're supported. Your bolster is physically touching you. You'll lay back, arms out to the sides, palms facing up. If you want a little bit more into your shoulders, you can bring your arms into a cactus shape, which is just a goalpost shape, essentially. So settle in, find your space, and focus in on your breath. If the bolster is a bit much for your back, you can always roll up a towel and use that instead to support your back. Notice where your mind is. Focus in on your breath. See if you can allow your body to soften just 2% more. We'll take our 3 cleansing breaths here. After your 3rd breath, bring your knees together if you had them bent. Gently roll to one side to lift yourself up. And from here, we'll be moving into our Shavasana, our final resting pose. So you can use your props however you'd like. I'm gonna take the blanket under my head and bolster under my knees. That's my personal favorite. But you find a cozy position that works well for you, whether that be laying flat or super duper supported. And once you find your space, let your body settle in. Relax your jaw. Let your tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. Feel each point of your body resting on the mat, and feel the earth rising up to support you. As I list these points on your body, feel them soften and relax. Relax your toes, the soles of your feet, your heels, your calves, your knees, your thighs and hamstrings, your hips, your glutes, your lower back and lower belly, middle back and middle belly, upper back and chest. Relax your shoulders, your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your palms, your fingertips. Relax your neck, your throat, your jaw, Let your eyes sink into their sockets. And relax your skull down. Feel the earth rise up to support all of these points. And allow yourself to enjoy this moment of stillness and relaxation. This moment is for you. Then as we begin to close out of this Shavasana, bring your awareness to your breath. Feel your belly rise and fall as you take your breath a little deeper. Feel the softness and ease throughout your body. Turn the corners of your lips upwards. Graze your thumbs across each of your fingertips. And roll your wrists. Spread your toes and roll your ankles. Maybe rock your head side to side. And if it feels right, take a full body stretch. Then when it suits you best, gently roll to your left side or stay as you are for another moment. You can use your arm as a little pillow. And then when you're ready, softly, slowly, gently, make your way up to a comfortable seat with your hands at your heart center. Let's take one more deep breath together. In and out. Bow to yourself. Send yourself some gratitude for making it to the mat today. Send some love and compassion to your very strong, very capable, very beautiful body. Thank you for making your way onto your mat today. Thank you for making time for yourself and sharing your practice with me and allowing me to share my practice with you. The light in me loves the light in you. Namaste. See you again soon.